Have you ever felt like you were meant for more, but something invisible was holding you back? That was the story of Leo, a young artist living in a small, quiet town. He wasn't just any artist. His canvases held worlds, his sketches breathed life, but only within the four walls of his dusty attic studio. To the outside world, he was just a quiet young man, his true potential locked away like a forgotten treasure. Leo believed his talent was a fixed thing, a small spring that could only produce so much. He'd look at the works of masters, and a heavy sigh would escape him. He saw them as vast oceans, while he felt like a mere puddle. Every day, Leo would paint. He'd pour his heart onto the canvas, creating breathtaking landscapes and portraits that told silent stories. But the moment someone else entered the room, he'd hastily cover his work, a flush of anxiety coloring his cheeks. Fear was his constant companion, whispering doubts into his ear. What if they don't like it? What if they think I'm a fraud? This fear built a cage around his gift, and he, its willing prisoner. He worked a simple job at the local library, surrounded by stories of heroes and adventurers, yet he couldn't write his own first chapter. He dreamed of showcasing his art, of having his name known, of inspiring others. But the dream felt distant, like a star he could see but never touch. His portfolio grew thicker, his studio more crowded, yet his world remained small. He was living a life in black and white, while his canvases were screaming with color. One rainy afternoon, while shelving books in the library's oldest section, a small, leather-bound journal fell from a high shelf. It had no title, no author's name, just a simple inscription on the first page: "The mind is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds." Intrigued, Leo took it home. The journal belonged to an old gardener who had once tended the town's most beautiful, now forgotten garden. The pages weren't about gardening techniques, they were about a philosophy of life. The old gardener wrote about nurturing his own mind just as he nurtured his plants. He described his daily practice of sitting in silence, weeding out negative thoughts of doubt and fear, and planting seeds of belief and possibility. He called it tending the inner garden. Leo was skeptical at first. Sit in silence. How could doing nothing change anything? But a flicker of curiosity urged him to try. That evening, amidst his unfinished paintings, he sat on an old stool, closed his eyes, and tried to quiet his mind. It was chaos. His fears screamed louder than ever. "You're not good enough. You'll fail. Everyone will laugh." It was a storm of negativity, and he felt like he was drowning. He almost gave up, but then he remembered the gardener's words: "You are the gardener. These weeds do not own the garden." So he sat again the next day, and the next. He didn't fight the thoughts, he simply observed them, like dark clouds passing in the sky. He imagined himself gently pulling them out, one by one, just as the gardener would pull weeds. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to shift. The inner noise started to quiet down. In the silence that followed, a new voice emerged, a quiet, gentle whisper. It was the voice of his own potential. It didn't shout or boast. It simply reminded him of the joy he felt when he painted, the passion that guided his hand. He started to use this time not just to weed out the bad, but to plant the good. Before painting, he would sit for 10 minutes and visualize his success. He imagined people standing before his art, their faces filled with wonder. He pictured himself talking about his work with confidence, his voice steady and proud. He was watering the seeds of self-belief. His art began to change. There was a new boldness in his strokes, a vibrant energy that wasn't there before. He was no longer just painting what he saw. He was painting what he felt, what he believed. He was painting from a place of courage, not fear. The town announced its annual art festival. In previous years, Leo would just walk through, his own portfolio gathering dust at home, but this year was different. The old fear was still there, a faint echo in the back of his mind, but the voice of his potential was stronger. He remembered the gardener's journal. A seed never knows its full potential until it breaks through the soil. He knew it was time to break through. With trembling hands, he selected 3 of his best paintings. They represented his journey: a stormy sea for his past turmoil, a quiet forest at dawn for his moments of meditation, and a brilliant, blooming garden, a tribute to the old man's wisdom. This was more than just an entry, it was a declaration. If this story is inspiring you, please consider subscribing and sharing this video. You might help someone else discover the courage to tend their own inner garden and unlock the potential they hold within. The day of the festival arrived. Leo set up his small booth, his heart pounding a rhythm against his ribs. He felt exposed, vulnerable. People walked by, some glancing, others moving on without a second look. The old voice of doubt began to creep back in. Maybe this was a mistake. But then he closed his eyes for a moment, took a deep breath, and pictured his quiet, sunlit garden. He was the gardener. He had a choice. He opened his eyes, stood a little taller, and offered a warm smile to the next person who approached. It was an elderly woman, her eyes filled with a gentle kindness. She stopped in front of his painting of the blooming garden. She stood there for a long time, completely silent. Leo held his breath. Finally, she turned to him, tears welling in her eyes. "It feels like hope," she whispered. "My late husband was a gardener. He always used to say that every person is a garden waiting to bloom." In that moment, Leo's world shifted on its axis. His art had connected. It had spoken to someone. It had shared a feeling, a memory, a piece of his soul. All the fear, all the doubt, just melted away, replaced by a profound sense of purpose. Throughout the day, more people stopped. They didn't just see paintings, they saw stories. They saw their own struggles in the stormy sea, their own peace in the quiet forest, their own potential in the blooming garden. Leo found himself talking about his work, not with the shaky voice of an amateur, but with the calm confidence of an artist who knew his worth. Leo didn't win first prize at the festival that day. But he won something far more valuable. He won his freedom. He had broken out of the cage of his own making. He realized his potential wasn't a fixed, limited thing. It was a garden, and it was his to cultivate. It could be as vast and as beautiful as he dared to imagine, as long as he was willing to do the work to pull the weeds of doubt and to plant the seeds of belief every single day. The story of Leo isn't just about painting, it's about you. It's about that incredible, untapped potential that lies within you right now. Your mind is your garden. What are you planting today? Are you letting the weeds of fear and self-doubt take over, or are you nurturing the seeds of your dreams? You have the power to cultivate a life of purpose, courage, and incredible beauty. Believe in your potential, tend to your inner garden, and watch yourself bloom. Thank you for watching.